Welcome back from the break. You're watching NewsX's continuous coverage of the floor test in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. Will it take place or not? That remains the big question. Remember, the Assembly has been adjourned till 1 p.m. after huge ruckus was witnessed on the floor of the House. Oh, we're getting breaking news coming in regarding an MLA. Breaking developments coming in. An MLA has reportedly been injured in the ruckus as well. The injured MLA has now been taken to hospital. So very ugly scenes, of course, now being reported from the Assembly. Remember, I told you earlier there was a ruckus, tables and chairs literally being pushed and broken. There were documents and books torn up and thrown around the floor of the House. The Speaker was literally lifted from his chair and moved out of his original position. He had to literally adjourn the Assembly and leave the premises. And now, of course, you're hearing one MLA has been injured as well following this ruckus. Well, Lokpriya and Vaishnavi, these are extremely ugly scenes which have been witnessed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. And whether this government survives or not, this will be a big blot, won't it, on Tamil Nadu democracy? Okay, I just want to quickly correct myself though and correct the information on the channel. One staff member of the Assembly has been injured, not an MLA. A staff member has been injured, and these of course are visuals of an ambulance which is being used to rush that staff member out of the premises of the Assembly and to a hospital. But I'll quickly go back to Lokpriya and Vaishnavi at this point. Lokpriya and Vaishnavi, extremely ugly scenes, as I said, being witnessed in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, and whether the government continues or not, this is going to be a big blot on Tamil Nadu democracy.
Well, that's correct. Let me take that question straight to Suman. So, whether the government continues or not, the pandemonium that we are witnessing is definitely a blot on Indian democracy, especially for Tamil Nadu.
Well, it is very unfortunate because we have not had such scenes in many years in Tamil Nadu, and I think, honestly, I mean, when we were actually thinking of the prospect of a trust vote, this possibility was there, but I think most of the people felt that it's been 25, almost 30 years, 29 years since we last had a trust vote. People would have matured, the politicians would have matured, the parties would have matured. At least we won't have this kind of pandemonium in the Assembly. I have no problem with the opposition coming to the well of the House, raising slogans. That's perfectly all right. I mean, that is done in all, it's done in the Lok Sabha almost every day the House is in session. You have somebody or the other raising slogans. But I think this kind of, jumping onto the or the other raising slogans. But I think this kind of, jumping onto the tables or breaking chairs and all that, though that is extremely unfortunate. That should not happen. Whatever be the provocation, whatever be the cause, one cannot condone that. Today, the fact that the Speaker was allowing proceedings to go on meant that he was receptive to the idea of conducting things in a smooth fashion, and it is extremely unfortunate that we've reached this. But I still feel that this is a tactic which is being used to buy time, maybe drag it out for maybe till afternoon, evening maybe, try to get some more MLAs onto your side. See, because if they reassemble at 1 o'clock, maybe even again there's a little bit of pandemonium, there is slogan shouting, which forces the Speaker to adjourn for another few hours.
So what then happens, sir? What then happens if there is going to be a vote of confidence is defeated? Can you tell the viewers what then happens? What are the options that are available?
Okay, if Mr. Palaniswamy wins the vote of confidence, the matter is solved for now as far as the stability of the government is concerned, and they get on with their work. Obviously, as far as the party is concerned, the challenges with the Election Commission will continue, challenges in the court will continue. So that's one part. If the confidence motion is defeated, then the ball is back in the court of the governor. The governor can have multiple options. He can choose the leader of the next largest formation, which in this case would be the DMK, to form the government. We don't know whether the DMK will agree to form the government because they don't have the numbers. So that is the first point. Or the governor can decide to keep the Assembly in suspended animation for a period of time, impose governor's rule, and thereafter, if some of these parties have got their act together and formed an alliance of some kind, well, then give the government, in which case the Assembly will not be dissolved. The third option is to impose President's rule, dissolve the Assembly and call for fresh elections. So you have three broad options before the governor, and it remains, now we're sort of probably jumping the gun because the confidence vote has not happened yet. Those options come only if the confidence vote is defeated. If Mr. Palaniswamy wins the vote of confidence, then the matter is solved as far as the immediate stability of the government is concerned.
Even if Palaniswamy is going to go ahead, win the confidence vote, it is going to be extremely challenging for the MLAs to go back to their constituencies.
Well, that is obviously an issue. But I mean, yesterday when we were discussing this, there was also the question, why should they go back immediately? They can wait for some time for the public anger to settle down, maybe 1 month, and then probably go to their constituencies later.
So again be at Golden Bay Resort?
Whether they will go back to the resort or go somewhere else, we don't know. But the point is, you know, the MLAs are under no immediate legal obligation to
that's a valid point that Suman C. Raman is making there, and I'm just going to return to that, Lokpriya, because stay with us. We have to take a very quick break. Our continuous coverage continues after these messages. Remember, 1 p.m. is when the assembly is expected to reconvene.